What's up, everybody? Week 9 in the NFL is upon us. The Eagles stayed perfect on Thursday night with a big win over the Texans. Kind of went in there, kind of played a lazy game, did what they had to do to get the win, stay healthy, avoid injuries. Amazing job by Philly. Buffalo 6-1, minus 11.5 in New York to face the Jets, who are 5-3. Over under in this one set at 46. Bills are 4-2 against spread their last 6 versus the Jets and 5-1 straight up. Buffalo 6-2 straight up their last 8 in New York. Bills are 12-2 straight up their last 14 versus the AFC East. Jets are 2-8 straight up their last 10 games at home. New York is 2-8 against spread their last 10 versus the AFC East. Favorites 4-1 against spread the last 5 meetings. Wilson tossed 3 INTs last week. Buffalo, I think they have enough to get this done. I think they are the better team. Sauce Gardner on the Jets. I might look for him. I might look into his prop bet, maybe play him to get an interception in this one. Actually, I think he might be the only one to score any points for the Jets in this one without Breece Hall and everybody that the Jets have out of their lineup again this week. And Robinson, the running back they just picked up or whatever, he's out this week as well. I think the Bills are just too much. Bills are second team in the last 40 years to be double-digit road favorites against a team with a winning record, and I think they will cover that spread. I see Buffalo winning 27-10. I don't see how the Jets score any points on offense. They could, but I think the Bills are just that good this year. Minnesota 6-1. Oh, in the Bills game, I'm probably going to tease them down to like an 8.5 point. I'll probably do a same game parlay in that game actually instead of just taking the Bills on that big spread. I'll probably tease them like an 8.5 and combine them with maybe like some like over for Josh Allen on rushing yards, passing rushing yard combined or something. I'll figure out a little 2-3 prop parlay to put along with the teasing the Bills down to a minus 8.5 and avoiding that 11.5 number. Minnesota 6-1, 3-point road favorites in Washington to face the Commanders, who are 4-4, over under 43.5 on this game. Over 6-1 the last 7 meetings and 4-0 the last 4 times these two have played in Washington. Underdogs 8-3 against spread the last 11. Minis 4-1 straight up their last 5 versus the Commanders. Vikings have won 5 games in a row. TJ Hawkinson just acquired from rival Detroit Lions. Big-bodied tight end to add with Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook in Minnesota's lineup. That'll help them in the red zone for sure. They're already 6-1 and not being talked about at all. Minnesota's 5-0 again in one-score games this year. Washington is 4-1 in one-score games this year, so they're both actually pretty good and play a lot of close games. Commanders are 0-3 against spread versus teams with winning records this year. I think Minnesota wins this game. I think they win it by a touchdown. I think there's something like 27-20, 28-21, 24-17, somewhere around there. I think Minnie wins and covers this game, and I will be playing this one. I really like Minnesota a lot over Washington. I do not think the Commanders are a 500 or a wild card team. 4 NFC East teams in the hunt for the playoffs right now. Could be all 4 of them have a shot at making it in. Washington's just tied at 4-4 with I forget who it is right now, but they're tied 4-4 for a wild card spot, but they lose the tiebreaker, so they're just outside. Next up, Green Bay 3-5, minus 3.5 point favorites in Detroit to face the 1-6 Lions. Over under 49.5 in this one. I don't know how this game reaches that high. Like, I know Detroit's D is bad, and I know their offense can put up points, especially with Swift and Ross St. Brown. But, like, seriously, you think this game's really going to get out of hand like that on the over-under? I don't know. I'm staying right away from this one as well. Not right away. I will put some money on Detroit to cover the spread. I might tease that up to give them a couple more points as well. And we will see Green Bay's 2-8 against spread their last 10 versus the Lions. Packers are 0-5 against spread in Detroit. Home teams 5-0 against spread. Underdogs 5-2 against spread. Overs 5-2 when they play in Detroit, hence the big number, I guess. Packers are 16-4 straight up their last 20 versus the NFC North. Lions are 5-0 against spread versus the NFC North. Traded Hawkinson away. You're getting Swift coming back healthy. Rodgers 12 straight games, he's throwing for under 300 passing yards. It's crazy to think about, but Rodgers, could him and Brady both lose again this week? I don't think so. I think Green Bay will do enough to get the win, but I think this game will be close. I see this as like a 21-20 Green Bay win. I really like Detroit to cover the spread in this one. I don't think this division rivalry will go more than a field goal to decide it. LA Chargers 4-3. 3-point road dogs in Atlanta to face the Falcons, who are 4-4. Over under 49.5 again in this one, a high over under. Underdogs 4-1 against the spread the last 5. The road team is 4-1 against spread. Under is 4-1 the last 5 meetings. Chargers are 2-6 straight up in Atlanta, or versus Atlanta, sorry. LA is 1-5 straight up their last 6 versus the NFC South. Falcons are 3-8 against spread their last 11 home games. Atlanta's 13-5 straight up their last 18 versus the AFC West. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams out for the Chargers. Falcons are missing their top 2 cornerbacks. Atlanta's 8-3 straight up their last 11 versus the Chargers. However, every team that the Carolina Panthers have faced the previous game, even if they have a bye the following week after playing Carolina, every single one of those teams has lost this year. They're 0-7 on the year, or some crazy fucking stat like that. That is where Atlanta sits right now. They just played Carolina last week. I don't know which one to go against, because I really like Atlanta here, but that stat with Carolina is just crazy to me. I don't know what to make of this. I will say that this is another close game, like a 24-21 Atlanta wins at home. Maybe. I think that's too many players out. I don't know what the deal is with Eckler. He will be the Chargers' saving grace. I know Herbert's a great quarterback, but how much can you really do when you're missing all of your weapons? Chargers, it wouldn't surprise me if either team won this game. I will not be putting my money on it, except on a little like $2 parlay where I have like all 12, 13 games or whatever it is on the ticket at once, just for that sort of long shot fun that I like to have each week in the NFL season. Miami 5-3 at Chicago 3-5. Dolphins 4.5, 4-point road favorite. Sorry, over under 45.5 in this one. Underdogs 4-0 against spread. Dolphins are 4-1 against spread versus Chicago. Miami's 4-1 straight up versus the Bears and in Chicago. Bears are 6-13, 1 against spread their last 20 overall. Chicago's 1-4 straight up their last 5 games. Bears are 5-12 against spread their last 17 games as an underdog. Finns added Brady Chubb. They added the receiver. I'm gapping on his name, Wilson Jr. or something. I can't remember. I apologize. Bears traded away Roquan Smith, but they added Chase Claypool. This one, I just don't know where the Bears are really going to get going. I know Fields has had 2 good weeks in a row where they put up like 29 points and shit, and they added Chase Claypool, but how are they going to stop Miami? How are you going to stop Jalen Waddle? How are you going to stop Tyreek Hill? How are you going to stop Gesicki? How are you going to stop their new wideout that they just acquired, Wilson Jr. or whatever? I apologize for forgetting his name or saying the wrong name there, but it's really just gapping me right now. I've had one of those weeks, but anyways. And I don't know. Another game where I like Miami. A lot of road favorites this week, too. I think the favorites are going to start to pick it up as well, like they traditionally do. The underdogs usually hit 56, 58% the first half of the year, and then the favorites hit at 51% usually in the second half of the year. So watch for that to sort of swing as we get going into week 9 now, where the favorites and the underdogs kind of balance out. I don't know, Miami, I just don't see how the Bears stay close in this one. I think they can put up some points, but Miami 31-21, 31-17, 34-17, something like that. I like the Dolphins to win and cover, and I will be putting money on both of those results. Minnesota and Miami are the only 2 that I'm putting my money on so far with the games I've gone over. The others I'll be looking at in-game parlays. I'll be looking at player props tomorrow hard on a lot of those games as well. The ones where I'm not putting my money on or don't like a lot, as there's usually only 4 to 6 games a week. Some weeks there's only 2 or 3 that I really like. Las Vegas 2-5 in Jacksonville to face the 2-6 Jaguars. Raiders 2-point road favorites, over under at 48 on this one. Vegas is 2-5 against spread their last 7 versus the Jags. Raiders are 1-5 straight up their last 6 road games. Jags are 0-5 straight up and against spread their last 5 overall. Jacksonville is 4-16 straight up their last 20 versus the AFC West. Jacobs is 4th in the NFL in rushing yards and 3rd in yards per carry, having 676 and a 5.6 yards per carry average. Travis Etienne, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, 6th in rushing yards and 2nd in yards per carry, 571 and 6.2. Trevor Lawrence has a QBR of 8. Single digit. Do it on 2 hands. His QBR rating in the red zone, 8. Horrible in the red zone. I like the Raiders. I think Josh Jacobs and their weapons, Devontae Adams, is too much for Jacksonville. I don't see how Jacksonville has all this hype around them, how Trevor Lawrence has all this hype around him when they have done shit in 2 years. It hasn't mattered whether it's been who's been coaching them. Hasn't made a difference. Raiders win this one 20-17, 24-17, 21-17, something like that. I like the Raiders to win and cover. I will sprinkle a couple bucks on this game, but I don't like the Raiders that much. I could see either team winning. They both played awful this year. Actually, I'm not going to put my money on that. That'll be a Josh Jacob and Travis Etienne. I'll probably go on both their rushing props instead of wasting my money on the actual game in this one. Next up, Indy, 3-4-1 in New England to face the 4-4 Patriots. New England is 5.5-point home favorites in this one, over under set at 40. Home team's 4-0 against spread. Favorite is 5-2 against spread in the last 7 meetings. Colts are 0-4 against spread in New England, over 6-0 when they play in New England, and 9-1 their last 10 meetings. Colts are 3-7 against spread their last 10 games. Indy is 1-8 straight up versus the Pats, and 0-6 straight up versus the Pats in New England. Jonathan Taylor's out for the Colts. Matt Ryan, he isn't their quarterback anymore. They got this kid in there. Colts and Pats are tied for the league lead in turnovers. The difference is New England's at least 416 turnovers or 416 takeaways as much as they have 16 turnovers. The Colts, they've turned the ball over 16 times but only taken it away 8, which is horrible. They sit at a -8 takeaway turnover ratio. I'm still learning having to talk. I'm just chalking it up to another one of those shitty things that's happening to me all week. So I'm just smiling, putting my head down, fucking moving forward. That's all you can do. New England 20-10 in this one. I don't know where the Colts get any offense from at all. They'll just try to run. They do plug and play their running backs pretty good in any scheme. They seem to be able to scheme for running backs no matter who is in there to at least have a decent game. Maybe choose some time off the clock so the score doesn't get too out of hand. But I think New England wins and covers, and I will sprinkle a couple bucks on this game, but this will not be a big play. It's not one I really like, but I will put a couple bucks on this one for New England to win and cover. Carolina Panthers 2-6 in Cincy to face the 4-4 Bengals. Cincy is 7-point home favorites, over under 42.5 on this one. Favorites 3-1-1 against spread. Panthers are 4-1-1 against spread in their last 6 meetings with Cincy. Carolina's lost 7 straight on the road overall, though. Bengals are 5-1 against spread their last 6 overall, and 6-1 against spread their last 6 home games. Jamar Chase out for the Bengals. What a difference that made. They got absolutely embarrassed versus the Browns last week. They give up the most sacks in the league. What has Burrow been sacked? 29 times or some shit like that this year. Problem is Carolina doesn't sack the quarterback. They've only got 12 quarterback sacks on the season. So what's going to give? Will Burrow have time to throw to nobody or whatever? Deontay Foreman, running back, will have over 100 yards. That is my only prediction in this game. I will take Cincy to win. I'll take Carolina to cover just because Cincy hasn't shown me nothing where they can do anything without Jamar Chase, or let alone on the season. Even when Jamar Chase was healthy, they hadn't impressed me a lot overall, especially for the expectations I and a lot of people had for them at the start of the year. Another in-game play for me on that one. Last 4 games of the week coming up, and I need more water. I am dehydrated with the sickness. Seattle 5-3. Who would have thought the fucking Seahawks would be 5-3? Not me. I had them last in the division. I think so. I think I had the Rams to win it. I had San Fran to finish second, and Seattle in last, and Arizona in third, I believe. If I remember right, I don't remember anyways, but I definitely did not have Seattle with a winning record at this point in the season. They are +2. 2-point dogs on the road in Arizona to face Cards. Over under at 49 in this one. The underdogs 12-3-1 against spread in this series. Road teams 11-4-1 against the spread. Seattle 6-2-1 against spread in Arizona. The unders 5-2 the last 7 meetings and the last 7 times they have played in Arizona. The under is hit 5 of the 7. Hawks are 6-3 straight up versus Cards and 7-1-1 straight up in Arizona. They did have that tie years back. Cards are 4-10 straight up their last 14 and 1-8 straight up at home. Cards are 0-5 straight up and against spread versus the NFC West. I like Seattle to win this game. I like them to win it by a field goal, so obviously I like them on the win and the cover. And this kind of like New England, where they're not going to make a big play by me, but I will sprinkle a couple bucks on them to win and cover the game because it's a nice little dog bet with them. LA Rams 3-4 in Tampa to face the 3-5 Tom Brady led Buccaneers. I can't believe I'm saying Brady has a losing fucking record. That is one of the biggest surprises to me, although with all their injuries and the troubles with their O-line, shouldn't be, because when you don't have an O-line, quarterback has no time to throw, and even when they do get to throw, they're under pressure, hands in the air quick, and they're trying to fire it off quickly, which usually means a lower trajectory because it's a shorter pass, and those get batted down or picked off. And that is what makes quarterbacks look a lot fucking worse than they really are. Because all the quarterbacks that make the NFL are good fucking quarterbacks. Is what it is. O-lines, D-lines win football games. Make other players, running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers look great. Anyways, the underdogs 12-3-1 against spread. Road teams 4-1 against spread. Rams are 9-1 against spread their last 10 versus the Bucks, and 6-0 against spread in Tampa. Over is hit in each of the last 6 meetings. Rams are 8-1 straight up in Tampa. LA is 6-1 straight up their last 7 on the road. Rams are 6-0 straight up versus the NFC South. Bucks are 0-6 against spread their last 6 overall. Tampa's lost 5 straight games at home. Bucks have lost 9 straight week 9 games. I think this game is a total stay away for me. Again, there's no way I'm fucking touching this game. I will look into props. I will look into an in-game play. If one of these teams jumps out, I might play the other if I can get a good plus number on them at some decent odds or your traditional odds. Usually the spreads are 1.8, 1.9. Depends on how you want to look at it. In other words, 1.9 means you bet 100, you win 90, profit 90. You bet 100, you win 190 minus your $100 bet equals a $90 win for you. I'll take the Rams to win this game. Bucks maybe. I don't know. Brady pulls it out at home. I don't know what to make of this game. I'll say 17. I'll say 21. 21-20. We'll go for the second 21-20 score prediction for me this week. LA Rams just squeak it out on the road against Tampa. And Matthew Stafford, I believe, is looking to be the third quarterback to win 3 straight games against Tom Brady or some shit like that. There's some weird stat like that out there. I'll have to look it up. I should have looked it up. I just heard it on a NFL Network when I was listening on the SiriusXM app earlier today. I should have wrote it down or something or looked it up like I said. But I do remember some crazy mention like that. Both of these last 2 games I'm going to talk about, I will be putting money on them. I do like these 2 games, and I really do like the outcomes in these 2 games. Tennessee Titans 5-2 in Kansas City to face the 5-2 Chiefs. Chiefs are 12.5-point home favorites in this one. The over-under set at 45.5. The underdog's 5-1 against spread. Titans are 5-1 against spread versus KC, and 6-2 against the spread when these two play in KC. Titans have won and covered 5 straight overall. Tennessee's 5-1 straight up versus the Chiefs in their last 6 meetings. Titans are 4-1 straight up their last 5 road games. Titans are 6-1 straight up their last 7 versus the AFC West. Chiefs are 16-4 straight up their last 20 overall, and 10-2 straight up their last 12 at home. Kelce is 100-yard. Let me start that again. Kelce's tied for second for most 100-yard receiving games in the NFL history. He's 1 away from Gronk. Gronk has 32 times Gronkowski had 100 or more receiving yards in a game. That is the record for tight ends. Kelce can tie it if he can achieve that mark against the Titans on Sunday Night Football. I don't know what to make of this one. I think a lot of signs. I really like Tennessee in this game. I don't know why. Something in my gut tells me that Tennessee could not only cover the spread, but pull off the upset in this one. I think I'm going to put my money on Kansas City on the money line, and Tennessee, I'm going to definitely hammer Tennessee to cover the spread. I might even tease it to get an even better number on this one. I think this game stays close. I think it's a running game. I will be looking at prop bets in this game for both sides. I really like that Kelce thing. I might play that prop for him to go over 100 receiving yards on the receiving milestones until he does catch and pass Gronk, or at least until he catches them. Then I might take a break for a game or two because maybe the nerves. I might play it 1 week after to see if he catches it right away in back-to-back weeks. I'll be looking at Derrick Henry props on this one. I'm going to be looking for in-game plays, especially like, I don't know, something in my gut. I will be making a play on Tennessee as an underdog in this game. I don't know what to predict the score as in this one, but I do think Tennessee keeps it close, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm gonna put money on Kansas City on the money line and Tennessee on the spread, and KC I'll obviously have to parlay them. I'll be parlaying my 4 or 5 favorites. I think it was 5 that I marked down. I like Minnesota, Baltimore, Tennessee, Miami, and I know there's another one I like this week. I'm gapping on it right now, but I'm going to roll with that in that game. Last game of the week, Baltimore in New Orleans. 5-3 Ravens versus the 3-5 Saints. Baltimore minus 2-point favorites. 2-point favorites on the road. Over-under set at 47 on this one. The road team's 4-1 against spread their last 5 meetings. Over's 4-1 as well in the last 5 meetings. Ravens are 6-2 straight up and against the spread their last 8 versus the Saints. Baltimore's 10-2 straight up versus the NFC South. Saints are 2-5 straight up their last 7 overall, and 3-7 straight up their last 10 at home. Andy Dalton is 6-19 straight up in primetime games. He is the Saints quarterback. Kamara has 4 straight games with over 100 scrimmage yards. Lamar Jackson is facing the Saints for his first time. When Lamar faces teams for the first time in his career, he is 25-2 straight up. That is a record, and the first time it has been done by a QB who has faced at least 20 different teams since 1950. I don't have the QB's name that did it back then, but that is the year and the stat. Adding Roquan Smith, I think it was the best trade of the entire trade deadline for any team, and I think it's going to be the most positive effects from that trade are going to be felt by the Baltimore Ravens, especially with those early season second half collapses. I love this fucking move. Roquan Smith, he is a tackling machine. He is a missile and a torpedo for where that football goes. It don't matter who has it. I think the Ravens cakewalk, and not only do I like this matchup for the Ravens a lot, it helps the Eagles fly, baby, because guess who owns the Saints? First round draft pick this year, which is sitting anywhere, it's been bouncing around between 4 and 9. The Eagles own the Saints first round draft pick. So that Saints keep on losing. They're 3-5 right now, 3-6. Oh baby. Eagles go with a great year and get a top 10 draft pick, and they still have their own first round pick. My goodness, what a nice outcome that would be. Anyways, those are my week 9 picks for 2022. Good luck with all your picks. Any of you sports books out there that want to sponsor, any companies at all that want to get on and have a joint partnership sponsorship deal, let me know. Hit me up in my DMs, especially on Insta, TikTok, Twitter. My Twitter is at view_parkers, VIEW_PARKERS on Twitter, Daigs_swag on all other social medias, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. Good luck. Peace.